Dawn Westhaver here again, and this morning I was going to go outside and show you about different kinds of spireas and the ones that you can cut back and the ones that you shouldn't. But it's raining cats and dogs out there, and it's a little chilly, so we're not going to do that. So instead I decided that I would show you about hanging baskets, how I do them in container planting. So what I'm going to show you is a trick we learned, quite a few years ago. I think we had a speaker that came in, and she had a greenhouse, a professional center, and when she was doing up her containers and planters and that sort of stuff, what she did was to help decrease the amount of watering that you have to do. There's a couple of things that are on, well, one thing that's on market that you can buy, and it's called Soil Moist, and it's crystals. And you add that to your soil, and what those crystals do is they absorb up water. And so then as your soil dries out, those crystals still have water in them. And so then your plants can draw on that water. They can get that water out of those crystals. And then when you re-water, they'll regenerate and fill up again with water. And it's a very expensive way of doing it. And because it's very expensive to buy these little containers, and you have to put quite a bit in your soil in order to make sure that you have enough water in there, water retention, so that you can cut down on your watering during the summer months. So what she came and did was she showed us that what she does is she gets diapers. And so what she does is she just gets diapers. Now what I use is I buy the overnight diapers, and because they retain a lot more moisture, obviously, for overnight. So, but what I do is I take off the elastic out of them. I can get this, there we go. So I take off the elastic on both sides here, and then I stick it in a container full of water because I want it to be filled up with the moisture. So I'm just going to stick this. I got a bucket here with some water in it, so I'm going to put that over there, and then I'll show you the one that I've already got done in this basket that I'm going to do up. This is how much moisture it can retain, and so I just lay that down in the bottom, and as the roots get longer on your plants, for the first little while, the roots are not going to be probably long enough to get down here to tap into that. But once they do, then your watering should lessen quite a bit. Now, one thing you have to make sure of is this is the outside of the diaper, and usually they have a pattern on them. And so you want the inside because that's where the water can go into. On the outside, it has some kind of a protection on it or whatever, so it doesn't come out. So you want to make sure that you put it in the right way so that the plants can get them. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill it up with some soil. I just put the soil in over top of it. And these plants in your hanging baskets in particular, and your containers, they're really heavy feeders. And you have to keep feeding them. You can't just water them over the summer. If you want your blooms to continue, one thing you can do is to keep pinching back and deadheading if your plants are ones that have to be deadheaded, but you should do that anyways just to make it look a little bit nicer. And also when you're pinching back your ivies or your petunias or whatever, they're going to branch out and get bigger and bigger, and you're going to get more and more blooms off of them. So, and the other thing that you can do is the kind of soil that you use if you're doing your own containers and that, is you can use the, I'm just going to move I can't pick it up, it's too big, so just one second. This is soil that I use. It's a Pro Mix, and it has 9 months. Am I burning up down? Yeah, 9 months worth of food in there, and that's great. It does have some food in there, but I would either continue watering with some Miracle-Gro in it. Or you can buy, now I don't have one here, I didn't get one this year yet, but you can get a container that has little beads in it. And so you just sprinkle that. It tells you how much for a basket of whatever, 10 inches or 18 inches or whatever. It tells you how much to put in there, and it'll be probably like a tablespoon or so. And you just sprinkle that across the top of it, and every time it rains or you water with just your water, some of that food comes away from the little balls. So, and that should last you all summer long. So that's 3 ways that you can do some continual feeding of your plants, and that'll make sure that you get lots and lots of color, and they'll get bigger and bigger, and they'll be gorgeous. So I'm just going to put a little bit more in here. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure, if you can see here, that I've got my corners and my sides with the soil. Get them all down there. And so what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put a wave petunia in the middle. So I'm just going to take that out. And when you first take your plants out, when you're going to put them either in the ground or in a container or whatever, what I always do is you don't want to disturb the roots too much because they've set up their own little system there. But they also have a memory. Roots have memory. So especially if they're in round pots, you've got to break that memory for them so that they know that they can travel somewhere else other than just in this space. Even though they're in a lot of soil now, you have to, what I call, tickle the roots. So I just open up the roots a little bit here because you can tell that these are still white. So this is not root bound by any means. So I'm going to sit that little guy in the middle, and I'm going to put some more soil in here. Didn't have quite enough in there. It's sunk down too far. Now this one here is an Easy Wave Yellow. This is new to me this year. And this is one that I started a little bit later, so it's not very big yet. But I try not to put them in containers any bigger than this 2.5 inch pot. Because if you have them in a bigger pot and you're trying to put them into a small space like this and you want to put other plants in there, then everybody is crowded out. It's much better, I think, for the plants, at least I found this, that it's much better for the plants to go in a smaller pot with a smaller root base, and then everybody kind of has their own space, and then they all grow together. And so then they do, I find they do much better than in the first place that they're kind of competing for space. It just works a lot better for that. So what I'm going to put in with this is I have German ivy, and German ivy grows like the dickens, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I have them in these size containers. You can get them, I think you can get them like at Walmart or, well, at any of the garden centers and that. So I'm just going to plunk this one. I'm just going to put 2 of these in. I'm just going to put 1 on each corner, opposite corners, I should say. And so these are going to hang down. So they're going to give length to your basket. You want to have height in your baskets or your containers, and you want to have length in them going down so that you get that really, really nice look on your containers or hanging baskets. So What I don't have though is I want to get some verbena or something like that. So because this is yellow and the German ivy is just green, and so here I've got the two corners here. So what I'm going to do in the other two corners whenever I can get to a garden center is, because this is yellow, I think I'm going to put either pink or red, probably verbena. There's a cascading one that you can buy. There may be some other stuff too, like bacopa. You could get that comes in many different colors, and scaviola, that's a purple. I'm not sure. There's like a ton of things that you just make up your own mind which you want, and that's so. I'm just going to leave space here, but I'm going to fill it up with my soil for the corners, and then in between, along each side, I started some alyssum. So I'm just going to pop out some of my alyssum. It's not blooming yet. Of course, these are all annuals. There's no perennials here. It's really hard to put a perennial in a hanging basket. But you know what? There's a lot of people that put hostas in containers, and they overwinter them in the containers. I do that myself. I have, I think, about 4 different containers that I have hosta in. And all I do in the winter time is I just tip them over, so that, because if the water goes into them and it freezes, it's going to smash your container. So I just tip them over. I just put them in a sheltered spot, tip them over, and then in the springtime I just lift them back up. And usually I cut a little bit out of them because they've grown. So I cut a little bit out and add some new nutrient soil in there, and away they go. But hostas are pretty forgiving anyways. They just keep on going no matter what. So I'm just going to put some of this alyssum, because the alyssum will also trail a little bit. So I'm just going to put that on the sides here. So there's 3 little plants there. They're not that big yet, but and you can buy alyssum that's way farther ahead. But for me, I just don't have the space in here to do a lot of annuals, to get them to the stage that they're actually blooming when I go to do this stuff. But that's all right. We're not going to be able to get these guys out into the garden and stuff anyways for at least another few weeks, maybe a month, who knows. But anyways, I'm going to do that. So the other thing that I wanted to just update you on, or maybe not update, but to show you this today, was, I'm just going to set this aside. Oh, I'm going to show you. So I just put that diaper in this water, and now it's all blown up. So I have 2 of these square ones, so I'll do the next one. I'll do the other one with that. So now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the flower. It's an annual, but it does self-seed, and it's called Cleome, or some people call it Cleome. And I tried the seeds inside the house, just like they said. Put them in the well, you have to put them in the fridge for a couple weeks first, and then put them in the hot box to a certain temperature. Well, they didn't do a darn thing. So, but my dad, when he had his greenhouses, he always took the Cleome and he put them outside in the greenhouse. And he always had them in the greenhouse that wasn't heated. And so I thought, well, I got nothing to lose because they haven't come up at all. So I thought, well, I'm just going to take them outside. And lo and behold, I don't know if you guys can see very well there or not, but, oh, there must be 30 or 40 little guys coming up there. So, and they have a very distinct leaf pattern on here. And once they get bigger, I'll post on this what the leaf pattern looks like when they're getting big enough to transplant. Because in the springtime, if you're lucky enough to have these in your garden, you know, 1 year, and the next year you're hoping that they're going to self-seed. Well, you're not going to know maybe what they're going to look like when they first come out of the ground. So you might weed them out. You might think, oh, that's a weed, so I'm going to get rid of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a picture of this when it first starts getting big enough to transplant. And that's what it's going to look like in your garden. And it'll be a little later coming out in your garden. So when you're doing your first weeding and cleanup, they're not going to be there then. They have to, it has to get a little bit warmer for them to actually germinate those seeds. So, but anyways, and then hopefully you can have your Cleome come back year after year. Usually they come in a cluster around where your mother plant was from the year before. And so then you can pick up those little guys and move them. And if you're going to move any plants, always do it on a rainy day or a cool day, and make sure that you really water them well. Because if you don't keep them watered, any plant that you had, even a brand new plant that from a garden center or whatever, especially like shrubs and that, you've got to get them watered well in the first year. If you do nothing else with them, make sure that they are watered well the first year, because those roots have got to get established so that they can overwinter that first year. So anyways, I guess that's probably it for me today, and hopefully tomorrow, without the rain and the cold, I'm going to show you about the difference between a garland spirea and a bridal spirea, and a regular, I think I have either yellow or gold flame spirea that's very close to the other two, and which ones you trim and how you trim them in the springtime. So anyways, that's it for me today. Thanks very much for dropping by. See you again. Bye-bye.